we are almost done with our design. So we've got one more point of the star to complete. This one is halfway done, and then we've got some internal details left. So for the rest of this point, we've got some curvy designs that we need to do from the back in the same manner as we did these lines. And then we've got that central circle and two big teardrops and a small teardrop. So we're going to do these lines. From these lines, there's a big curve in this area, which I'm going to do first, and then I'm going to do all the connecting little curves. So from the back of my pewter, again, I'm going to start inside my previous recessed line. Send your pewter back to the front. Flatten around. And then we can define. After defining, we can level out our lines from the back again. So we turn our pewter upside down and level out our line from the back. Turn our pewter back to the front. Repeat our flattening process and define. Then we can define with our metal ball tool. Okay, so now we've got a couple more curvy ones left to do. So we're going to do them in the same principle as this one. We're going to take it one at a time. So I'm going to start inside my previous line from the back and draw in the little curve. I'm going to do both, one on either side, and then we can flatten. Flatten from the front on our hard surface, and then we can define. And then we can level out our lines again from the back. Then we can define. Then we can continue with the next two. So back onto our semi-soft surface, again starting inside the previous line. And then we can flatten. And we can define using our Teflon tip. Then we can level out our lines again from the back. And then we can flatten again from the front. And then we can define with our metal bowl tool. Then we have two more left on the side. So back onto our semi-soft surface. Again, inside our previous line. And then we can flatten. And define. Then we can level out, so we turn back our pewter upside down and level out our line on the hard surface. Again, back to the front. And we can repeat our flattening process. And then we can define. And repeat the last one from the back. We start again inside our line and we draw out the last one. Back to the front so that we can flatten and tidy up. And then we can level out. We turn our pewter back to the hard surface upside down and we level out. Then one last time back to the front for our last flattening and defining. And then we can define with our metal bowl tool. Okay, so that's our curvy pattern done. So now we can do the 3 teardrops and the 2 little circles. So that we do from the front of our pewter in our high relief technique. I'm first going to do the little circle here in the center. And at the same time, I can do the small teardrop on this side. And then we can flatten, so we remove our semi-soft surface. After flattening, we can define and add a bit of height from the back. So now I can add a bit of height from the back. So on the back of my pewter, on my soft surface, using my paper stump, I'm going to add a little bit of height from the back. Then we can repeat our flattening process from the front on our hard surface. And then we can define. I've seen that my line in the center here has flattened a bit. So at the end of everything, I'm going to come back and just lift it up a bit again. So now I can continue to add this little dot and the two bigger teardrops. So for the little dot, I'm going to do it with the ball and cup tool. From the back of my pewter, place it on my lino. I'm going to use my ball and cup tool to add that little dot. Return to the front. On my hard surface, place the cup over and define. Now we're going back onto our semi-soft surface so that we can complete our two teardrops. So on the front of my pewter, again using my sharp tip Teflon tool, I can draw in the outlines. And then we can flatten on the front on our hard surface. And then we can define using our Teflon tool. And then we can add a bit of height from the back. So on our soft surface, we add a little bit of height using a soft motion. Back to the front for our last flattening process around these designs. And then we can define. Here we go. So that's that corner of our star done. So we've got one more corner left, one more point, and then we can do the inside details. And it's coming along very well.